Better late than never, but I just recently caught up with Sentai Daishikaku, aka Ranger Reject, aka Go-Go Loser Ranger. I have not talked about this series since the end of the Bailong's Nest saga. We've had 2 full sagas since then, and the most recent one was really hype and I want to talk about it. This video will contain spoilers up through chapter 125, but as of this recording we're on chapter 130 now, so I might allude to some of the stuff happening now. In the broad strokes, Neji Haruba has no chill. Every other chapter has some kind of plot twist or reveal that forces me to completely reevaluate what this series is even about. After the test at Bailong's Nest, D and Angel Usakubo get recruited by Green Battalion, whose job is to hunt down the remaining executives like Patrolla. I really like Green Battalion. They're not in the spotlight like the other Ranger divisions. They've recently lost most of their staff, and of course, they're the only ones doing a worthwhile job. It really fits this twisted version of a Sentai that the only Chill Dragon Keeper runs the only genuinely good Ranger division, and that division suffers the biggest beatings and is also infiltrated by 2 different spies. This first arc with Green Battalion leaves a lot to be desired. I like that there's only 4 of them. I really like Chidori as a character, though I think the reveal that he's Greenkeeper was a bit too obvious. I think the setup with Magatia? I always said Magatia when I was reading it. But it's pretty creative. Or at least I would think it's pretty creative if this wasn't a stock JoJo plot. I got nothing against JoJo. In fact, I think the JoJo formula is one of the best formulas out there. But Neji Haruba isn't as good at drawing action as Araki, and the arc, and in fact the entire manga, kinda suffers from it. That's been my biggest issue ever since the D vs Hikiru fight. Neji is a fantastic artist when it comes to designing people, outfits, monsters, or striking an excellent pose. But when it comes to drawing 2 people hitting each other, he's just not that good. This causes some issues when the plot demands that shit start going down. The Magatia arc is fun but not worth talking about on its own. It's more of an introduction for the Green Rangers and the role they play in the wider world. The best parts of this arc are seeing Hisui's backstory and getting to see her interact with D and Angel. It creates this ticking time bomb since Hisui is so determined to wipe out the invaders, and D is an invader in disguise. That time bomb sets up some fun subversions when she does find out about D, and decides to work with him to kick the whole rotten machine to pieces. Speaking of that rotten machine, the following 2 arcs damn near could have been the end of the series with how batshit and bombastic it got. The build-up to the Invader Rights Association is oozing with intrigue and atmosphere. There's monsters, talk of a final boss, multiple factions spiraling into conflict with each other. Meanwhile, D continues to be an absolute fucking gremlin, and I love him. This little guy just wants all the smoke. D may be the most stubborn and tenacious main character I've ever seen. Most leads are either really smart or really strong, or some balance of the 2. Not freaking D! When the world gets turned upside down, and Huaylapan's plan to turn the citizenry into monsters and the Rangers' PR takes a nosedive due to Redkeeper getting caught being a murder psycho, D could have picked any side. He could have joined the Rangers and gutted the IRA. He could have joined the IRA and crushed the Rangers. Instead, he decides to throw hands with everyone. And thanks to that, he ends up getting Hisui and Chidori's respect and ends up inspiring Angel to get out from under her father's thumb. That's about as much bush beating as I can do. So, let me get this straight. A long time ago, there was a Sentai show that got unceremoniously cancelled. The Yellow Keeper we see throughout the series did something, found a divine clan, butchered them to make real invaders, executives, and tools to fight them. Suzukiri is the last member of that clan and keeps getting cloned, then her clones keep getting turned into more invaders and weapons. This new Real Ranger group stages the entire war from scratch, then kill a few of the executives to get the foot soldiers in line, so that they can keep this all up without dealing with as many casualties. Then Yakushi Usakubo, a fan of the original show, gets so pissed about this reboot series that he starts the Invader Rights Association for the sole purpose of making his Power Rangers OC villain a reality. Also, Red Keeper is a clone, there's a new Blue Keeper, Hibiki is forming the Neo Rangers to expose the truth, Angel is the creation of a human and an invader, don't ask me how this guy fucked this thing to make this girl, Suzukiri has a bunch of naked clone daughters running around, and the Giga Invader Death Messiah is busted. I busted my gut the first time he said all this was foreshadowed, because I swear to God I heard that shit in the quintessential quintuplets fandom all the time leading up to its final arc. This entire arc goes into the 9th circle of meta hell and only sticks to the landing because of how few fucks D and his friends give about the final boss's bullshit. And I love the overall lesson D learns. He can't do this on his own. He can't keep going off half-cocked. He needs to determine who his real enemies are, and more importantly, who his friends are. From the very start, D has had to make alliances with different would-be Rangers. He needed Hibiki's help against Hikiru. He needed help from the Rejects to pass Beilong's Nest. He needed Hisui and the rest of Green Battalion to beat Magatia. So can he really consider the Rangers as a whole his enemies, or is he going to admit that Hibiki was right? The answer isn't mutually exclusive. As we've been seeing, even the Dragon Keepers are witless pawns in their own game. I really think Yellow Keeper is getting set up to be the final boss, assuming the final boss is someone we've met. D is still going after everyone that caused him to suffer and is still boasting about world domination, but now with Green Battalion, we're starting to get a glimpse at what D's true path might look like, and how this might lead to an alliance with Hibiki and his Neo Rangers. That's all I've got for you. Hopefully it won't be so long until my next video, but until then, I'm Mediocrity4. Thanks for watching.